What's up, everyone? Today I want to talk about Last Epoch. Last Epoch is an action RPG made by 11th Hour Games, and it just had its big new season release last week, kind of the end of last week, and like every other Path of Exile 2 player, I jumped over and tried it out. Now, this wasn't like a normal season release. You know, most of these ARPG type games have a new season every couple of months. This took over a year. This was a full rework of the game from the ground up, lots of the base systems completely reworked and improved, and it has performed really well. This is currently sitting at over 100,000 active players on Steam, and rightly so. There's a lot to love here. So I want to talk about it, and this isn't going to be a big review. I just kind of want to give some thoughts on what it does well, what I kind of didn't like about it, and then compare it to kind of the other games in the genre. And hopefully this will give you an idea of if this is something that you might enjoy, or if this is one maybe that isn't for you. I will say this is an ARPG, a top-down ARPG, like Diablo, like Path of Exile, but it is vastly different in how it plays and the systems around it. And that's what I want to get into. So first I want to talk about the things it does well and the things that I think make this game stand out. And the reason it has got over 100,000 players and has held them since this season's release. You know, they didn't all just jump over and then 2 days later everyone leave. This has held a really good player base since it came out. So let's go over that first. Okay, so the first thing I think it does really well is how it handles its classes and its character progression. So there are 5 classes to choose from, and you have like a sentinel, which is a warrior, you have a mage, you have like a necromancer type character, a druid type character, a rogue, that kind of thing. And then each of them, when you get to a certain level, you can progress or like ascend or evolve into one of the subclasses. Each of the classes has 3 subclasses, meaning you have like 15 different final classes in the game, which is a really good coverage. You know, there's lots of different playstyles there. And the best thing is, as you then level up, you can put your points into your class. So I went Sentinel, I put like 20 points into the Sentinel tree, unlocked all of the Sentinel's main abilities, and then I chose Void Knight and progressed all the way down the Void Knight tree, making my character like mostly a Void Knight. But then you can put some points into your the tree that you didn't choose. So I didn't choose to be a paladin, but I can still put some points in here up to a limit, which means I can be a Void Knight with healing hands and, you know, a buff spell. I could have gone into the Forge Guard tree and chosen some of these, which is really exciting because it means there are so many other build options. So you could be like a druid with a couple of Beastmaster skills. You could be, you know, a lich with a couple of Necromancer skills. So there's a ton you can do here and make a lot of really interesting builds. And that is the surface, because then every single ability, so you see here, as we were going along, and you say you go into the Paladin, you unlock Healing Hands and Symbols of Hope. In the Void Knight, you unlock all these spells. Every single spell in the game, you can specialize in. So in the skills here, I'll go a bit smaller so you can see. You can specialize in all of these abilities, and you can have 5 specializations. And then as you open them, they all have like a branching skill tree. So every single ability, you know, your build will be so different to someone else's, not only by the abilities you take, but how you choose to specialize them. So say Healing Hands, you can go down up here to this tree here, and you can make it so that it stuns enemies. You can go all the way down here. When you heal an allied enemy that was below health, it restores them to full health and grants them a ward. Like, you can take it any way you want. You can go up here, you're immune to damage while using Healing Hands. There's so many different ways you can play the build. That means you could go all in on, you know, Void with one ability, and then on another ability, gain a bonus when you have Void abilities. And you could like go all in on Fire, and then take another ability that converts your fire to, you know, something else. So there's so much you can do and play around with here. And I haven't even scratched the surface of builds because I've only played a couple of characters. So yeah, this is an absolute win. If you look at games like, you know, PoE, Path of Exile, that does builds really well, you know, the massive passive tree. But some games like, you know, Diablo, for example, it is very surface level. It is very, very, very basic. Whereas I think here, they've done a really good job of keeping it complex, but still on the level when you get in, like when you first look at one of these abilities, it's not too overwhelming. I think they've done a good job of that. The second thing that made this game really stand out is the crafting. Now, I can't even talk about crafting in Path of Exile without people making jokes, because it's really that bad. So if I just grab some gear, I'll just grab like a couple of pieces of gear, just so we have some items. Okay, now if we go to the crafting station, which is like this anvil over here, let me show you how easy it is to craft. So if I go and I put in this sword here, I put in this maul, right? This maul here has health on hit and physical damage. If I want those modifiers on another weapon, I just go Rune of Shattering. I shattered this weapon, and I just gained a health on melee hit shard. So I can now put that modifier on another item of my choosing. If I now take this, you can see this has crit strike, void damage, bonus damage from crit strikes, and I can level these up. I can just click this button here, chance to chill on hit, and I will upgrade the affix. So now that is stronger. I have a higher chance to chill on hit. Let's say I don't want any of that. I can go into here and I can go, where is it? Removes a random affix on the item. I can click this. I've just taken something off, and now I can go here and I can go, I want chance to ignite on hit. And now it's on. It's that easy. Very little RNG compared to I was gonna say none, but very little RNG compared to other games. And I think lots of games do this wrong, where you have this deterministic crafting of, I want to get to here, how do I do it? So yeah, big W here. This is amazingly done. If you played PoE, there's like chance orbs. You know, you can like use a chance orb on an item. There's a chance to make it better, but most of the time it'll just destroy the item. Look how it works in this game. They've got something called a rune of ascendance. You just put it in this sword and you go ascend. There you go. We've just made a unique sword. There's no downside. You just are always progressing and always improving your build, your character, and it's just done well. You can like upgrade and you can like redo your tier sets. You can redo your idols. There's like this new Weaver's crafting system as well. There is a ton of depth to the crafting, and just know it's rewarding, not punishing. And they've just done an amazing job with it. The only other big thing to talk about is the end game progression. The end game progression is fantastic. It's basically these monoliths. They're like these big progressive mapping systems, basically, where you go down a route and then you make choices. So you could go, you know, where I am right now, you could go to like across here where we've got idols. You could go up here where we have, you know, increased rare swords, things like that. And you go, they take like 2 or 3 minutes. You go beat a bunch of mobs, do a bunch of objectives, get your rewards, and dip out. There's no like juicing the maps, making towers, crafting. There's no like really complex part of this. You just jump in, have fun, jump in, have fun. And you progress super fast down these things. On top of it, with the new patch, you know, this new season, the Weavers Guild, you can actually like craft these little things. You see these webbings here? These are because I placed these here. I placed this thing here, which had, you know, certain affixes that I wanted to do. So say you wanted to go do certain things, you just place them with the Weavers faction. You've got this whole new tree here where you like level up this new faction. And it has things like that where you can like deterministically find certain items you want. You can determine what's on your map and what you're working towards. And it just makes the entire end game better. Like I say, this isn't some big deep dive into every system. I just want to say end game is fantastic. If you're looking for simple, fast, easy progression, this has it, and it is done well. So yeah, really good. I think that's all of the things I really like about the game. The only other good thing I would say is they have a really good way of dealing with like the loot filter. It's all in game. They have a really good way of dealing with solo self-found. So you choose a faction, basically. You have the Circle of Fortune, which is solo self-found. You can only find items in the game, but the items that you find have an increased, the items you find are better. So, you know, as you progress, you know, affixes are better, chance to have double rewards. When a set item would drop, instead the whole set drops. So things like that, there's like, you know, the items you find are better, or you join the Merchants Guild where you can trade. It's kind of like solo self-found or trading. So it's a good way to do it. And, you know, these places, they have like actual places on the map you can visit, and you can go and progress these factions. So if you choose to join these guys, you can literally come here, you can go and you can say, you know, I want to find more set piece jewelry, and you can take that as a prophecy, and then you will find more set piece jewelry. So if you are solo self-found, it's incredible. Similarly, if you're in the merchant, you progress that, you get market stalls. It's just a really good way to do it. So yeah, that's all the things I think they've done well. And these aren't just little things. These are things that make an ARPG good, and they are done well. So big W all around. I think so many of these systems are fantastic. Okay, now I want to talk about the bad, or not so much the bad parts of the game, just the things for me that I personally didn't like. And these things are so strong that I'm probably done with the game. I'm not saying it's a bad game, but these things have made me not enjoy the game to the point where after 2 or 3 days, I'm probably done. Despite all the good things, I'm not enjoying it. So the first one is the combat and how trivialized the combat is. There has been, I'm level 75, so, you know, I'm not super end game. I'm not like crazy high level, but I finished the campaign, 9 chapters of the campaign, which took a chunk of time. And the end game starts here at Monolith 58. And I played this when it came out. You progress all the way up the monolith, and then you unlock like the corrupted monoliths, which are harder. And that's how the game progresses. But after all this time, I'm currently 75, And my next monolith I'm in is a level 85 monolith, right? So I'm in these 85 monoliths. If I go in here, these things are 10 levels higher than me. If I pick a thing, I'll go in and just let me show you the combat. And it's been this way the entire game. It's been this way since the start of the game. So watch what happens when you go up to a mob. I'm not even using like any moves. You know, I've got an auto spinny ball, and I'm not even using any moves. I'm my hands off the keyboard. I'm just walking, and the mobs are just melting. My health bar doesn't move. My health bar is always at full. It never drops. If I was to attack, they just get one shot even faster. I just picked a random build that was recommended S tier, you know, which everyone else will do when they play one of these games. I picked one of the good builds, which is, you know, what you do in RPGs. But it shouldn't be this trivial. It shouldn't be this much of a meme. And I know people are gonna say it gets harder at level 100. I ain't playing this to 100. I ain't doing this. I've done it for 75 levels. This is a boss. 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's the end. So yeah, that to me is the biggest thing that puts me off. There's been zero challenge in all the hours I've played. So yeah, that's the most disappointing thing. The second big thing that I'm not a fan of is the sheer volume of loot. Every single enemy is a loot pinata. You just beat an enemy and he just pops out 5 items. And these aren't just like blues and yellows. They're dropping like just randomly tier sets. They're randomly dropping uniques and like really good items. Like, you know, normal games, you get loads of blues and yellows. And then when you get a rare, you're like, oh, and then at endgame, you get a unique. You're like, oh, I got a tier set. That isn't in this game. Maybe the specific tier set is, but tier sets mean nothing. Every single map you can find a tier set. Every single map you can find uniques. I started like putting them in here. I started putting all my uniques away, and I just got so many that I just vendor them now. I don't even want to look through them because there's so many that drop in such high volumes. Like some enemies will drop like 5 pieces of these uniques. I stopped storing them and I just vendor them now because it takes so long to read through everything. And like I say, even with the loot filter, there's just too much gear and it just doesn't have any meaning. I don't know what the chase items are anymore. Like, because normally you'd get excited about tier sets. You get excited about, you know, the high-end gear, but I guess you just get excited about the stat you're looking for. I don't know. I personally don't like it. I personally think it's too much good stuff to the point where it's no longer good. That being said, overall thoughts, is this game worth playing? Is this for you? It depends. I would say if you are someone who wants to feel powerful and you want to have fun, this is a fun game. If you want to just roam around, destroy everything, get loads of loot, craft your items, beat the game, this is rewarding. You know, if you're a busy guy, you've only got 2 hours a day to play the game, you don't want anything too complex, you don't want anything where you've got to sit down and watch a video, a guide to understand it, you can do this. You can fly all the way to endgame without looking up anything, really. It's a very, very chill, casual, fun game. If you're looking for a challenge, if you're looking for like a really challenging, hardcore, rewarding experience, I've not felt any of that. I've not felt anything I've overcome in the couple of days I've played haven't felt rewarding in any way. Any loot I've gotten, I haven't felt like I've earned because the game just felt so easy and streamlined that I just didn't get that feeling I normally get from an ARPG. So for me, I'm probably done with my time and I'm going to go back and play like Path of Exile 2, maybe the new Diablo season. But yeah, I think they've done an amazing job bringing it from where it was. Every system that they had in the game is now better. Everything about the game has improved. But yeah, if you're trying to compare it to other games, it definitely seems to lack the overcoming challenges part that I like about ARPGs. But yeah, that's it. I hope it helps. I don't know, a bit of a rambly video because I just wanted to talk about it. And I'm getting to say, oh, why are you not playing Last Epoch? This is why. I just it's not for me. That's all. But I'm really curious what you guys think about this one. I think this is definitely going to be a divisive game in that people that had a lot of I see a lot of people who had problems with a lot of the systems in PoE are going to love this because it gives you everything that game doesn't. And then on the flip side, the people that like those challenges, I can see finding this a little too streamlined, a little too easy at times. So yeah, I really want to know what you guys think about this. And you know, these are just my opinions. Please don't hit me with the, well, you didn't play you should have played a mage, or you didn't play to Corruption 500. I played long enough. I'm done. But let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.